One of the things that we've tried to do better is explain the power of economics on the independent platform. And the best way to relate that is to share a story of some modeling we recently did for an advisor. I was speaking with an advisor who did approximately $1 million in production at a very well-known wirehouse. The advisor was in his mid-40s, and he indicated that he'd likely be inclined to work another 15 years. So what he asked us to do, in essence, was to model out how much it would cost him. What was the cost of complacency? How much would it cost for him to continue to sit at his desk versus making a move to an independent platform? In doing that modeling, there were several things that drove the outcome. The first, obviously, was compensation. The advisor's current all-in economics resulted in approximately 45 or 46 points. That was his base payout, some benefit subsidies, and some deferred compensation. In addition to that was the advisor's equity. What could that advisor sell their practice for in their current environment versus our environment? And then the third and final component was tax benefits. What were the benefits that the advisor would derive as a result of being 1099 versus W-2? On a 15-year compound basis, that advisor had over $5 million of additional compensation by walking across the street and running that same practice on an independent basis. To be fair, we assumed it would take them 3 years before they could grow their practice back up to the $1 million. So we actually acknowledged that there could be some loss of accounts, there could be some timing, and we required 3 years for them to get back in our model to $1 million of production, and then grew them from year 4 on at a 5% rate. We assumed that if they stayed at their desk, they'd have that $1 million of production and grow at a 5% rate over 15 years. And yet still the difference, compounded over 15 years, that advisor gained $5 million through some modest tax benefits, an increase in compensation that net of expenses was approximately 30%, and then the increased value of their practice, some of which occurred as a result of a higher multiple, and some of which occurred as a result of more favorable tax treatment. Because in the wirehouse, when they sold their book, all that was subject to ordinary income, and in our world on the independent side, they not only had a higher multiple, but approximately 75% of those proceeds that would be subject to capital gains and not ordinary income. $5 million was far more motivation than they needed to make a decision to go independent.